Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lesh,
I was absent. 6.
Williams,
Yes.
Under new business this evening, we have a resolution, bill number 2012-21, a resolution adopting a deferred compensation plan, 457, for the City of Mexico employees as administered through the International City Managers Association Retirement Corporation, and authorizing the city manager to execute necessary plan documents. This is up for reading and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. As part of the overall benefit plan with the employees, we do offer a deferred compensation 457 plan, and currently there is one plan available under Nationwide. This would give another option, and it is it's a nationwide, again, type plan, even though it's with ICMA, which means the International City Managers Association, which means all employees can be a part of it, and so therefore to cover the details of it, I'm going to turn to Roger and what we are proposing here.
Good evening. The City of Mexico currently provides a trustee, a deferred compensation plan known as a 457 plan through the nationwide retirement systems for which employees currently participate. The City of Mexico believes availability of such plan provides an important investment avenue for employees to electively contribute their wages for purposes of achieving additional retirement security through tax-deferred savings. Staff believes it is beneficial to offer an additional 457 plan to the City of Mexico and its employees through a well-respected retirement investment firm known as ICMA-RC. The adoption of the ICMA-RC as a retirement plan provider will allow employees another mix of investment options and will run alongside the current 457 plan already established. The adoption of ICMA-RC will not create a monetary cost to the City of Mexico, and the participation in the plan will be at the election of the employee. Staff recommends that Council authorize by resolution authorizing the City Manager to execute the necessary enrollment documents to allow the City of Mexico to participate as trustee for the benefit of its employees in the 457 compensation plan. It would be administered by ICMA Retirement Corporation, and it would also authorize that such funds may be invested through Vantage Trust Company. And I'd be glad to answer any questions.
So, you know I'm the finance guy, so I'm going to have some questions, comments here. First of all, I'd like to ask, where this came from to begin with. Where did this idea originate? I mean, this isn't something we came up on Thursday and put on my packet Friday, so kind of evolved to how we got here.
Actually, there are a handful of investment companies that cater to governmental entities as far as offering 457 plans. When we started with Nationwide several years ago, who we currently have a 457 plan with. They offer a large number of different investment opportunities, which are mutual funds, annuities, and that can be mid-cap, small cap, large cap, so on and so forth. ICMA-RC offers similar products, but will have different groupings of mutual funds. So by allowing this plan to run alongside the Nationwide plan, we are just giving our employees additional mutual funds to invest in, different types of annuities to invest in, and if they wish, they could put part of their earnings in each. It's just going to give them more opportunities.
But it does cost the city. I mean, that's just ingenuous to say it doesn't cost you anything, because these plans aren't work-free. I mean, it's going to cost you guys time and energy to do this. It's not. It may not cost you dollar for dollar, but it definitely is going to cost taxpayers money. And my theory is this, because I looked at both funds, Vantage and Vantage actually offers a lot more than Nationwide as far as ability. They actually offer other funds like Fidelity and Magellan's, and so I don't understand why if we're not happy with Nationwide, why are we going to add additional work to do another fund when there's more, where you're going has more funds to choose from, including if you look, some of the same funds you can invest in through two different companies. So I don't know, I know each fund, each grouping, Vantage may offer Fidelity funds, but, Nationwide may have the opportunity, but they might not offer it in your plan to invest there. So my concern is, we just sat here and all these people in this room wanting money, or not wanting money, but we want to go to them and say, we don't have money, so we want to raise your, we want a sales tax. But then then out the other side of our mouth, we got money to do this, though. It may not be dollar for dollar, but it does cost you time and energy. And I don't understand the purpose of two funds that do exactly the same thing, especially when the majority of our community doesn't even have the opportunity to do one of these. It's just my personal feeling, and I know I'll lose on this, but it's okay. I just wanted that.
Well, a 457 plan, first of all, is somewhat an equivalent. It's unique to governmental entities. Is similar to a private industry's 401k.
401k, yeah.
Right. And of course, on a 401k, as council is aware, a lot of companies will contribute money to a person's retirement up to a certain percent, up to a certain dollar amount. This one, the city is not contributing a single dollar. It is the employee's election whether they want to do tax-deferred savings. As far as offering the two side by side, it is not that we are dissatisfied with Nationwide in any means. I think if you went to about any stockbroker, and one of the key things that they're going to say when investing is say diversification. Even though these two plans may have some similar products, they have differing products. And even the ones that have similar products, one may have what you call an A load or a B load, which is you're paying a front fee or you're paying a back fee for being invested in that fund. Again, it's probably most of the key is allowing diversification for the employees. I'm hoping too that by offering an additional fund, we might get more people interested in actually making investments to retirement.
I just don't see the difference between a Fidelity and a Vanguard. I mean, that's what you're talking about here. They both offer diversity. You talk about diversity. They both offer the same things. They both offer mid-cap. They both offer small-cap. They both offer international. I mean, I looked. They both offer the same funds. It's just a different person managing the money at the top. So they have different investments. One guy might like Apple. The other guy might not like Apple and likes Microsoft. So I just don't understand why we want to put more work on ourselves for just cause. I mean, I understand what you're saying, the diversification, but I also know, when I looked at them, Nationwide had 20 or 30 funds, and Vantage Trust had another 30 or 40 funds on top of that. So I'm like, if they're not going to do 20 or 30 funds, what do you think? Do you think they're really going to be, if they got 70 funds to choose from, they're going to make a huge difference?
I think, first of all, I think the cost of operating it, we are already there doing payroll. We have a person already sitting there. It's a matter of whether this person fills out a form they want to invest in ICMA or if they want to fill out a form to invest in Nationwide. And then that is either done electronically or it's done by phone. We have options, or it can even be done by fax as far as how the investments are done. The participant, which is the employee, they can manage the account or track their account at home because they'll have a password. Just like you go to look at your bank account, you'll be able to do that with these retirement funds. They will have the availability if they wish to either have the funds non-managed or managed, but they'll have access to people, whether it be Nationwide or with ICMA RC. As far as, like I say, you were saying that additional cost, it's whether they're going to buy apples or buy oranges, they're still doing the transaction, and we're going to handle the transaction. Again, it was more for diversification, an additional, I guess, sales tool to put toward our employees to look at their future and try to make contributions for their retirement. I noticed in my last letter from Social Security, below my estimated retirement. It had in fine print, please be advised or be aware that your Social Security retirement may be reduced as much as 25% based on when it's going to run out of money. So I'm hoping that people are looking at that and saying, okay, I need to take the bull by the horns myself, and even if it's $5 a paycheck, do something to invest in retirement.
I agree with you. I'm just trying to understand the whole concept because, I mean, when you go to Morningstar and you look at their funds, you look at Nationwide, you look at Vantage funds, I mean, why are we not choosing other companies as well? I mean, why did we choose that and not go out and look at, I mean, there's lots of other companies that will offer 457s, lots of big name companies. But so I'm trying to figure out how we got to where we're at, why we made this decision, because even when you look at their Morningstar ratings, they're not that impressive. I mean, they have a couple of good ones, but I mean, so I'm just trying to get a feel of how we decided this is where we're going to go versus somewhere else. Does that make sense? When you look at the ratings and stuff, you would think if we're going to do something, we would go to the best of the best, but we chose this set, and I'm not saying they're bad, but there's nothing impressive. There's nothing that goes a bunch of 5-star ratings going on in there or anything. So I'm just trying to get a process how we got here, because I never heard anything about this period until I got this packet. So, and it's one of those things that, I mean, we probably could have talked about.
Sure. Yeah, and that's fine. ICMA, the city has had in the past affiliation with ICMA one way or another, not necessarily in 457, even well before I was here. Again, we've had Nationwide for a number of years, and I went through the same processes that you're asking this evening, saying, well, what are we going to have as far as handling cost? Is this product that much better than what we currently have? And again, I go back to it's just more of a diversification than anything. If I would have gone through this and said, well, this is going to create a lot of additional cost to the city by running two, then say, well, we need to make a decision between one or the other. ICMA is, RC is very, very well recognized in the government finance world, which you might not necessarily see when you're looking through a Wall Street Journal or something like that.
Well, they all get rated by Morningstar, though.
Right.
Every fund does. And I went to Morningstar because I'm a member of Morningstar, and they were okay. Yeah. But, so I would feel better if it was like we were going somewhere where it's like, oh, these guys are really good, and they got, all this, when a couple of the funds I looked at for Vantage where they didn't even meet Morningstar, the average. So I would feel better if it was like we're doing something better, but it sounds like we're just doing it. I'm just trying to figure out why we're doing it.
Part of it, as he mentioned, part of it's diversity, but part of it is from the recognized part of the city side of it or a government side of it. So if you have employees that say leave one government or to the other government, you're not going to find that all of them are going to offer Nationwide or whatever. Where you're going to find the majority of them are going to offer ICMA. So, for example, I've been an ICMA before, and I'd probably like to do that again. It'd be no different than an employee leaving our community or have come from another city to another. This is one of those things that one city or another is going to offer this kind of thing. They may not offer Nationwide, or they may not offer this other thing. This allows them to stay in the same type of retirement deal, from one community to the other, or one state to another, or one government to another, or whatever it may be. And this one's much more recognized from that diversity point of view. So more communities, more governments are offering this one because it's there and it's across the lines.
Other questions?
Yeah, Roger, do you know right offhand, just a ballpark, how many or what percentage of our employees take advantage of the current 457 program?
Right now, less than 25%. I hate to just guess a number out there, but probably 15 to 18, something like that.
15 to 18%.
They need to realize that if they take $5 off their gross and put it in something like this, they may only lose $1 off of their break-home pay.
Yeah, it is pre-tax. You are correct.
Yeah. Who administrates this? Is that something local that, so in case I'm not you or Chris, and I don't know where I'm going in the back door in the window, as far as the funds, about which one would be good to get into?
Well, they will do an analysis quarterly that we have available to us for the employees to look at, and it will list all of the funds, and it will show the funds investment gain over the past year, over the past 3 years, over the past 5 years, and over the past 10 years. And of course, someone that may have had have a Morningstar rating of 2 now, 10 years ago may have had a Morningstar rating of 5. Because investments have, you can't just go out and make money on anything that you invest in like you could back in the late 1990s.
I think I'm gonna start putting my dollar.
Would you anticipate that more employees would get involved in this, or are we talking about the same employees?
You know, I am hoping more will be, because it gives us a new marketing approach. You know, look, we've offered the nationwide, and we still do. Now we're offering this ICMA RC, and I think that some of our current employees that work for other cities will quickly recognize ICMA RC. Such we have employees in our employment pool now that are from Columbia, and they'll be familiar with that particular 457 plan. So they might be more readily to put some money into that.
And for the record, I don't just look at Morningstar. I looked at their 10-year averages, and a lot of them performed under Russell and NASDAQ and Dow. So whatever their specific
Sure.
was. Just wanted you to think I didn't just look at a Morningstar rating.
Okay. Anything else?
I make a motion to read bill number 2012-21.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lash,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. Bill number 2012-21, a resolution adopting a deferred compensation plan 457 for City of Mexico employees administered through the International City Managers Association Retirement Corporation, and authorizing for the city manager to execute necessary plan documents. Whereas the City of Mexico, Missouri has employees rendering valuable services, and whereas the establishment of a deferred compensation plan for such employees serves the interests of the City of Mexico by enabling it to provide reasonable retirement security for its employees, by providing increased flexibility in its personal management system, and by assisting in the attraction and retention of competent personnel. And whereas the City of Mexico, Missouri has determined that the establishment of deferred compensation plan to be administered by the ICMA Retirement Corporation serves the above objectives, whereas the City of Mexico, Missouri desires this deferred compensation plan be administered by the ICMA Retirement Corporation, and some or all of the funds held under such plan be invested in the Vantage Trust Company, a trust established by public employers for the collective investment of funds held under their retirement and deferred compensation plans. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the City of Mexico, Missouri hereby adopts the ICMA Retirement Corporation 457 Deferred Compensation Plan and Trust Plan number 306915. The City Manager of the City of Mexico, Missouri is hereby authorized to execute the Declaration of Trust of the Vantage Trust Company to be operative with respect to any retirement or deferred compensation plan subsequently established by the City of Mexico, Missouri. If the assets of the plan are to be invested in the Vantage Trust Company, that the assets of the plan shall be held in trust with the City of Mexico, serving as trustee for the exclusive benefit of the plan participants and their beneficiaries, and the assets shall not be diverted for any other purpose. City of Mexico, Missouri hereby agrees to serve as trustee under the plan, and deputy city manager shall be the coordinator for the program, shall receive necessary reports, notices, etc. from the ICMA Retirement Corporation or the Vantage Trust Company, shall cast on behalf of the City of Mexico, Missouri any required votes under the Vantage Trust Company. Administrative duties to carry out the plan may be assigned to the appropriate departments, and is authorized to execute all necessary agreements with the ICMA Retirement Corporation incidental to the administration of the plan. Section 5, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. I move for passage of bill number 2012-21.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lash,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Next ordinance we have this evening is for second reading by title only and passage, and it's bill number 2012-19, an ordinance amending Chapter 12.5 Stormwater Management of Mexico City Code. This is up for second reading by title only and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. As you mentioned, it is up, we've already read this at the last meeting. It's up for the second reading. As far as staff goes, we have no additional comments. We've not received any additional comments. So unless you have any questions, we will not go back through the presentation. We'll just recommend that you move to second reading and passage.
Make a motion to read bill number 2012-19, second reading, passage.
Title only.
The title only. Thank you, sir.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lash,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Bill number 2012-19, an ordinance amending Chapter 12.5 Stormwater Management of the City of Mexico City Code. Move for passage of bill number 2012-19.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lash,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Next on the agenda, under other business, is the claims.
Make a motion to pay the claims.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lash,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Next is council comments. Chris?
I guess the only comment is, you know, me and Roger kind of tipped for tat on that. I would just say that, you know, we are up here and we are the city council, and some of us have things that we're good at. You know, if there's an issue with police situation, I would think somebody would consult Greg Miller. If we have a finance, I have degrees in that stuff. You know, Ron, if someone with, you know, Ameren or something, if someone with the ambulance district. I would just say that, you know, we're here to help, and we're part of the process. And when some of us feel like we're just not part of the process, and that's a problem when we're the city council. It's a problem when we as the city council go out into the community and we don't know, but the city knows. Does anybody think that's the right way it should be? Because I'm pretty sure most citizens would think that's not the right way it should be. So, you know, I would just say for future reference, if you can use somebody on the council or you have something that, you know, is going to pertain to them, that maybe we should work on communicating a little better with that.
Councilman?
Thank everybody for coming for the work session. And that's about all I have.
Your Honor, I called in the other day about the conditions out at the compost area, and I just wondered if Bruce could give us an update, anything was done or what he found. Or
I'm going to actually turn to Kenzie because he's been watching that and went out and
We did follow up and did add some rock on the entrance to the drive out there the other day. Basically, they have a good solid surface, but because of the nature of the operation, they do get a little slop on top when we get rain. It was due some rock, some was added.
when did the Brake Brothers start their summer operation? That is 5 days a week or 7 days a week?
March 1,
It did start on March 1?
I believe so.
I think you might want to check on that. The terms of the contract require that they start on March 1, but I don't believe that they did. But you might look into that.
Okay.
That's all I have, Your Honor. I will say that I do get considerable complaints about that area out there. It's just, I guess I'm the only one going out there or something, but every time I go, I get complaints about the mud and about how hard it is to get in and out, about how nasty it is in there. I don't think it's Brake Brothers' problem. I think it's the city's problem. And anything we can do to keep adding rock and mashing it down and flatten it out and making the drive a little better, I think we would be well advised to do. Thank you for looking into it, guys.
Bruce?
Yeah, sure. I have a couple things this evening. As mentioned to council in the last couple of council briefs, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., there will be the governor will be in town, and he'll be making an announcement at Spartan. I believe that information is already put out, but I invite you to that announcement, and there's some expansion issues, so we're glad to hear about that, but we're not going to steal the governor's thunder. We're going to let him make that what he wants to say there. I also talked in council briefs a couple different times about tobacco-free workplace policy, and we are moving forward to implement that. And as a part of that, we are certainly, as stated, in the policy, we're committed to providing, healthy, safe, comfortable, and productive environment for all employees, visitors, and so on to the city facilities and buildings and so on. And we've had basically a no smoking issue for some time. This is moving basically to a tobacco-free. So this is going to include, buildings and vehicles and of the like, and it will become effective April 1. And again, I've heard no comment back from what provided. So, in addition to that, we've talked at different times about some of the updating at City Hall regarding electrical painting and some of those things. Some of the minor electrical work we had, we had a contract that we let on that. I think it's been about a month ago now. And it was about partially about the tree that was out here, and that tree did come down over the weekend, if you noticed, and they're going to start working on the electrical changeover, and some of that should take place in the next couple of weeks. In addition to that, you'll also a contract will be forthcoming for you guys to look at as well, referencing some painting. And then we also have the awning that's going over the front door. And I think, Rita, is that going to be installed this week yet? This week or next week? Yeah. And that will be the awning over the door. I think that's been talked about at least for a couple of years now, so I think that's finally going to get done. So anyway, those are the things that I have this evening.
Okay. And I appreciate all the folks that came this evening to give us feedback. I guess most of them have headed home for this evening, but it's good to get feedback from the community. I'm certain there are two sides to the issue, and most of the positive folks showed up tonight, but there are others out there that may not be so positive about some of these potential increases in sales tax. So we'll see how that goes from here. Next on the council, on our agenda is public comment. Do we have anyone that would like to make a public comment this evening? Seeing none, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Lash,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Always 5-0 on that one.
Thank you.
Want to adjourn.